happily forever after at that point. A lot of people think that when they start on their journey, whether it's health, whether it's their career, entrepreneurship, you think that once you have certain information and move toward that journey, that it's just smooth sailing, brothers. That's the absolute wrong mindset to have, man. So I'm giving you a heads up, brothers. You have to understand that your past is going to come see you. You think that a part of you that has been attached to you your whole life, the people in your old circle, the old circumstances, you think that world is just gone? Contraire, moon frere. That world is just circling back around, man. It's just getting momentum. It's just recalibrating to the new you, saying, let me come back around and see if he's about that life. Every single time, bro. But when the Bible says to seek ye first the kingdom, brother, I'm gonna tell you where a lot of people miss the bus on that. A lot of people think that, when it's referring to the kingdom, a lot of people think that, once I transition, once I leave this world, once I have a physical death, then I will be back in the midst of God. I will be in the kingdom, and I will have this ultimate peace and bliss. But what you have to understand, man, you have to understand that kingdom can be obtained now. Not only can be, has to be obtained first. That has to be man's first journey, is finding that kingdom. Because if not, brother, you'll fall victim to this world, man. Find that state. Like when I say meditation, sleep, and death are all the same world. They're all the same world. It's just how deep you're submerged in it. The thing is, brother, you have to call that world your reality. You aren't praying. Your prayers cannot answer until you put boots on the ground, brother. Until you put boots on the ground. In other words, until you start the process of bridging the third dimension and the fifth dimension together, your prayers will not be answered, man. Even the Bible says faith without works is dead. Like everybody on the planet at this point has heard that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But a lot of people are still stuck in their minds, man. A lot of people still can't make that transition to walking in that I am, man. You know what I understood too? What I come to find over the last at ease. I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's good to be back in the live saddle. It's good to be coming off of vacation, and today is officially day one that I'm back riding the wave. Yeah, I've been putting content out, man. Yeah, I've been making a few IG posts, man. But your boy has been in vacation mode for some weeks, man. Just kind of rejuvenating my mind, kind of recalibrating, kind of reassessing what needs to be done, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it feels good to be back on day one and to be going live on day one. So to be honest, I believe going forward, man, I'll be doing more lives, man. Let me bring my comments up, man, because everything has changed since I've been on live last time as far as the software I use, man. Good to see everybody. Good to see you, Miss Rowe, always supporting. Good to see you, Coach Kev. Let's get it. Good to see you, Brother Rowe. Good to see you, Brother Jalen Ellison, and everybody else that is joining the live. We got a good call tonight, man. It's good to have this brother on the call tonight, man. I want to start off by saying this. Like your recipe is always going to be inside of your struggle. And I don't know if I've made a video about this, but your recipe is always going to be inside of those dark times. And I know a lot of people look at the dark times and we run from them. A lot of people look at the dark times and when they're in that place, it's hard to see and feel a glimpse of light and feel a glimpse of God. But if you understand nothing else I say tonight or nothing else that's said tonight, understand that when you're at your bottom, when you're going through your struggle, if you just take 5 minutes and stop focusing on what's going on and focus on the light within that darkness, brother, I promise you, not only will that be the fuel that'll get you out, it's gonna be that thing that's gonna take your life to the next level and levels beyond. I put it on everything, man. Like the gold is in your struggle, man. So if nothing else, understand that. And I also believe that, because it's not always about hitting the bottom. Sometimes we might just have a rough patch. Sometimes we might just have a life situation that kind of throws us off. But I believe that the deeper you go, the darker it gets, the more nuggets that are present. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, this is the ultimate thing. Once you come out of that situation, it's only right. Matter of fact, I would consider it to be blasphemous for you to come out of that situation and not spread that goodness, not spread that light, not spread that knowledge to your brothers and sisters. Like if you love your brothers like you love yourself, then when you go to the bottom, the last thing you want is for somebody else to go to that same thing that can be avoided. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to listening to people, man, when it comes to just sharing your thoughts and swapping knowledge and exchanging energy with people, this is one thing that's crucial to me. Man. Like anybody can get on the World Wide Web and regurgitate something they've heard. Anybody can watch some content from Andrew Tate, from whoever, anybody on the World Wide Web, and come back online and speak information. But speaking information is completely different than speaking your truth. When you speak your truth, there's a conviction to it. When you speak your truth, this is how you know when somebody's speaking the truth. When you speak your truth, there's always a story behind it. There's always a journey behind it. And I'm glad to have this brother on tonight, man, because not only have I heard his story and seen his story from afar to confirm it, I've been so engaged with this brother, and I've seen him walk through the fire since the time I've known. I've seen him quantum leap once or twice since the time I've known. So, man, I'm honored to have this brother on tonight, man. I'm honored to be back in the saddle. I'm honored to be back in the conversations with soul type mindset. And man, I just hope that y'all get something from this, man. Let's get it going, brothers.
First of all, the greatest thing on the planet is the knowledge of self, and basically the knowledge of the universe. For the mere fact that you are even interested in this or remotely interested in this at this particular time when shit is going on crazy out here, it means that you are the special evolved beings. Stop thinking like a human. You got to start thinking as a God. G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. Is it not written in your law that ye are God? John chapter 10, verse 34, 35. But what is the whole of is that the actual gods do not realize they're God.
Now, the brother I want to bring on tonight, man, the brother that I want to have a chop session with tonight, man, is definitely one of those ones, man. It's definitely a man that stands on his word and lives his truth, man. I want to introduce one of the industry's leading MEP quality construction management leaders in advanced technology, right? Entrepreneur. He's the founder of QAS, which is Quality Assurance Solutions. He's an author of the books Forged Under Load and Turn Your Catastrophe into Masterpiece. I just ordered 2 copies, by the way. One thing that's important to me, man, he's a father to a 7-year-old daughter, Mrs. Taylor, man, and a phenomenal young lady, man. He's a phenomenal father. He's a transformation strategist and a creator of the Forged Rebuilding System, helping men rebuild their identity, income, and leadership after collapse. And the most important thing to me, man, is he's a man that walks in his own light. He's a man that walks in his truth. He's a man that, I believe it said it was David, man, a man after God's own heart, a man that will give his last to help his brother. You know what I'm saying? I introduce to y'all, man, my brother, prominent member of the Power Circle, prominent member of Exit Strategies, brother DeMarcus Taylor.
What up?
Oh, brother.
What up?
Man, life is good, man.
All is good.
Man, good to see you, man. And I appreciate you making time this evening, man. I know our schedules, man, we're both hectic, and it's just so happened we can find that space for it to line. So, brother, I want to respect your time tonight, man, and to say I thank you, man. First, let me say this. Let me say this, man. And I want to say this publicly. And I might tell you this offline, but I don't think I tell you this enough, man. I appreciate the brother you are. And I can't say that to every man, but I appreciate how you're, when I say you're one of them ones, you're one of them brothers, man, that I can call or that can call me and we can have that conversation and we can keep it 100 with each other. Like a lot of times when we call our brothers or call friends, you can get information that's just like a lot of people try to salt and pepper things. But you're one of them brothers, man, that you call it how you see it, and I appreciate that about you, brother.
Oh, bro. So it's all love, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So to dive in, man, this is my thing, and this is the question I always ask first because I want the people that are watching this content, man. Those that might not know DeMarcus Taylor yet, I want to ask you what your truth is, just to give people an idea of the person that we're talking to tonight. So, what is your truth, brother?
Okay, cool. So, I mean, my truth is, I understand that source and I are one, and I was created to overcome barriers in spite of circumstances and create structure out of chaos. 100%. That's my truth.
Hey, structure and chaos.
Everything that I touch.
Yeah. Structure and chaos is it, man. So I want to get into your story, man. But I'll say this: like I love to see, like I'll say over the last month and a half, 3 months. Like I've seen your life do so many things, man. I've seen you, your business is growing. I saw the post where you were presenting at one of the largest. You pretty much quarterback in one of the largest events in your industry, man. And it's just good to see that after having conversations with you a year ago, 2 years ago, to see where you've come from, right? But I want, just so people understand who we're talking to, man, I want to go back to the beginning and talk about some struggles at the beginning. So when you were a younger man, of course, you were a prime athlete, man. You had, scholarships on the radar. Life was looking a certain way. And all of a sudden, some events happened that put you in a position where now all of a sudden you're facing a lot of time in prison. Like, what was that? I would consider that was one of you. I would believe that that's one of your first major hurdles in life, man. Can you talk more about that? What took place? How things transpired to go from star athlete to possible future prisoner, man?
Oh yeah. So I mean, I'm originally from a small town, man. 514 people total, right? So everybody know everybody. You can get your butt whooped by every parent situation, right? And yeah, man, I was one of high school all stars, right? Going into into that space of where, hey, this guy may make it to the league. Like my dad played for the New England Patriots. I thought that was my destiny. I had people like Jimmy Smith, who's a Hall of Fame wide receiver, that was connected to my father, played with the Jaguars, calling me, texting me throughout the day, giving me game, man. I would do training with him and et cetera, right? That was the whole blueprint. And I ended up getting to a college where I transferred, and out of nowhere, bro, I'm talking about life literally flashed before my eyes, man. It was 11 football players. We were in a dorm room having party. We had drugs, alcohol, we had guns, and we had underage females in there. And right before I know it, everything was gone. Period. So outside of that process of, which is why I call my book "Turn Your Catastrophe into a Masterpiece: No Knowledge Kept Secret," because the information that I didn't know when I went through that process, easily I could have got out of that situation. I thought I was in a gang. I thought I wasn't gonna snitch on nobody. So I didn't say anything, but me being connected and associated to that, bro, 5 years probation. I thought I was gonna go to prison, but I got 5 years probation, right? So, but after that, I still get stamped with the felony label and trying to figure out, okay, how do you maneuver through this process? It's not football. Like, what are you gonna do? There is no blueprint, as a felon in Mississippi, small town. My family, love my family dearly, but come from humble beginnings, right? And that's when it all started. The no's.
Yeah.
No, you can't live here. No, you can't.
Yeah, so that's what I want to ask you, man, because you said something a second ago. You said, "Hey, you know what? Knowing what I know now, I could have changed everything."
Oh yeah.
What did you know at that point in time? Because to go from start athlete to possible time, like that alone can cause people to have a mental collapse, mental breakdown. Like, what truth were you standing on back then, or what knowledge or principles did you have back then that could even get you out of that? What were you standing on back then?
I'm gonna be real with you, bro.
Church? Was it?
It was church, but it was ego. I was standing on ego. Like, I'm better than this. Like, this ain't me. You know what I mean? It was almost on arrogance.
Yeah.
I was standing on arrogance to get me through a situation, just to give me the confidence to get to the next space. And of course, church was in place with that, man. But that's the only thing I was standing on.
Yeah. You know what, man? I always say this. I told my son this. I tell younger brothers this. I believe the most dangerous time frame of a man's life is between 17 and 23. I've told my son this a million times. I say, you know what? If you're going to get in major trouble, odds are it's going to happen right in this area, because you're coming out of high school, you're kind of being introduced into adulthood, you're getting some responsibilities. Yeah. Mom and daddy, uncle them, they kind of out the scene a little bit. And in your situation, as you were saying, I was thinking about it, and I'm not justifying things that are things, right? But it's another reason that makes that area dangerous is because once you cross that 18 threshold, then just a year behind you, it's dangerous to talk to somebody just within a year or two behind you, man. So it's just a dangerous area, just a dangerous time frame for men to be in. And anybody listening, if you have sons or nephews that are in that window, make sure you tell them to be walking on eggshells, or like my mom always told me, man, to keep your nose clean. She told me that every single time I left the house, and now I understand. But let me ask you this: during that time, like, what was revealed? What did you reveal about yourself that you still hold? Like again, we always talk about how going through the bottom reveals things. It gives us knowledge. What did you reveal about DeMarcus during that time? In other words, when you came out of that and looked back, still a young man, what changes did you see in yourself?
Oh man, I always knew, you know what I mean? I had resilience, right? And just from going through the football process of doing tour days and, super hot summers and all the physicality and all of the studying you got to do with football. But like, this was like, hey, your life is flashing before you and somebody has your life in their hands. So when I got through, and when I say got through, I'm gonna say when I realized I wasn't going to prison, that I looked and said, man, if I can go through that, in spite of all the thoughts and all the negative feelings and emotions I was having, I can do anything.
Thanks.
And soon I had to prove that. Like that had to be proven, man, just by me thinking that. It was like, okay, well, guess what? If you're gonna come out of this, you're gonna have to overcome shit in spite of whatever it is that you're going through. And it's not gonna matter about how you feel about it. It's not gonna matter about how people see you. It's not gonna matter about all different circumstances. You're gonna have to become one with source to get through
this. Interesting, man. And, I always wanted to ask you more about that time frame, because we spoke about it briefly, man. But I was just curious on like who the man you were, and really what you brought out of that situation, man. And I know it's played a huge part in who you are, man.
Yeah.
But I want to fast forward, man, to something. This is a conversation I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about relationships and marriage and the beauty of marriage, the danger of marriage, and the whole thing surrounding relationships, man. And I know you've been married twice, you've been divorced twice. And I was looking at your Facebook, man, kind of in preparation for this call. You've had some beautiful women in your life, and I can tell that the relationships are still solid because of those relationships. You know, you have a beautiful daughter because of those relationships. But before we even get into the inside, you know, to the inner workings of your relationships and things that transpired, how do you see relationships in 2026, man? Like, are you a man that still believes in marriage? Do you believe that both men and women are going their own way? Do you believe the system is corrupt? Like, what are your overall thoughts on relationships?
Yeah.
It's just me asking you that randomly, man.
Yeah. I see. It's good that you asked me this question, bro, because if it would have been 3-4 years ago, man, I would have said I don't believe in marriage anymore. You know, and the reason behind that was because obviously, the first marriage I went through, I ended up homeless, sleeping in my car, taking showers at Planet Fitness. 75 cents in my bank account. And then from the second marriage, I ended up losing $1.2 million, losing my multifamily property, my transportation company, my franchise. Like, it took a lot out of me. Like, I thought the first one took a lot out of me. The second one took some out of me. Like every time it took some out of me. But then I realized though, bro, it wasn't the marriage, it was the alignment. So I understand that nobody's perfect, right? And I got this old mentor. He about 78, 79 now. And he always used to say, me and my wife, we're not perfect. We're a good fit. Like, we're a puzzle. Like, I go my way, she go her way, whatever, but we're a good fit. It's a puzzle, and it just works. So first, I didn't even understand the concept of what he was saying, and it seems so simple though, but I didn't even understand that. But alignment is, like you said, the same spiritual truth, the same, values, how you guys tend to solve problems, how you tend to interact with people, how you tend to stabilize your environment and respond to procedures and protocols as the people. So if that to say that you guys got to have those same parameters within those 4 pillars, right? But understanding those where, I may solve problems at a faster, more decisive pace. But if I understand that she don't, that allows me to either adjust the temperature or vice versa, or to take lead in certain aspects, man. So now that I've done some work and done some due diligence on how I'm wired, like I don't necessarily look at marriage as if like you're not supposed to be married to one person, because I understand it's a gift from God. It's a gift from God. That woman come in and if she can package and nurture and cultivate and 10x whatever your vision is or your gift, that's what it is.
Hey, let me ask you this, man. And I don't want to go down this route of conversation, but I do want to ask you this, because I'm 100% aware that a lot of my subscribers, feel a certain way about relationships, right? And I just want to ask you this one question on that.
Oh, I know they do.
Yeah. After going through 2 divorces, what took place inside of you to still be able to say, okay, I understand that regardless of what's going on, regardless of men online saying this, women online saying this, regardless of that, I understand that when 2 people come together and, do XYZ and build something, it's a gift from God. Like, something had to take place inside of you. And the reason I say that is because, and I want to know what that is because like there was a point in time where I was heavy in the red pill space, and I was never 100%. Hey guys, let's just leave women alone, But there was a period of time where I had to do some healing and some understanding and some thinking and some looking at myself and taking accountability. What did you do to go through 2 divorces I mean, not only just two divorces, a divorce that left you homeless, a divorce that took 1.2 M's. Like, what did you do to come from that to say, you know what? I still understand this is a gift from God. What happened on the inside of you, bro?
But that's a good ass question, bro. Because I think, like I said, it recently transpired. It wasn't something as soon as I came out of those relationships, I was like, okay, this is what it is. But I understand that if I'm made in the likeness and image of our creator, that means a woman is also. And that I guess from my ideology is looking at it, okay, hey man, I'm I move in my own space at my highest form, right? And a woman can do the same. And if her and I can come together and create a baby, like there has to be something that has us tied and connected to each other to get to the next level, depending on a person's life, right? Now, I'm not gonna say marriage is for everybody. I'm gonna take that off the table right now. It ain't for everybody, but what I'm saying is for people who, if it works for a certain individual, it works. Some people it just don't work, and that's okay. We all have our own mission and purpose in life to do other things. And one thing about me going through all the turmoil and all the situations of losing things, right? I've already been through something. Like my when 19 hit, that started for me. So it was like, okay, this is this is a trend. This is a pattern that I'm constantly. This is happening to me, bro. Like I'm going up and I'm going down, going up and I'm going down throughout the ebbs and flows. So I just started realizing that, bro, me going through this was something to either shed off of me or to forge me for something that's greater. And I can't look at that thing as if that was the wrong thing. That don't make marriage wrong. That just meant that I wasn't aligned with who I am.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
feel me?
Last question. I do. I feel exactly what you're saying, man. Last question on relationships, and I'm gonna go a different direction. You being back to where you are and still climbing. And to be honest, in my opinion, man, I feel like even though you've accomplished things, I've seen you quantum leap once or twice since I've known you. I feel like you're just starting, right? Even now that you're back in that place, what must a woman bring to your life as a successful man, as a man that, to be honest, if he chose to live his whole life and not be in a relationship, a man that can check all of his boxes on his own, what elements must a woman bring to your life to be considered eligible for long-term commitment?
Man, bro. I had a partner who asked me something like this, and I said, "What can a person do for you that you can do that you can do for yourself?" Right? So, like, I think the number one thing is just be a woman of understanding. That's the very first thing that I want. A woman who understands my truth, who I am, and where I'm going, right? And then be able to acknowledge or be able to see my vision and be like, hey, I can help him over here. Or her vision actually meets mine somewhere where we become a good puzzle, right? And I'm only saying this because, bro, think about this. Um, when me and you was talking, I was in Denver, Colorado initially, right? Told you my whole plan and goals. Like, look, that's what I'm about to do. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna make this move. Hit you back probably like 9 months later, and I'm like, bro, look what happened. I'm headed to Phoenix. And you're like, damn. So out of that, now I propose something else. Like, look, this the vision. This is where it's gonna go. This is what QAS about to do. Shit, what, a week ago, bro, they just offered the company, right? Like,
Nice.
my wife will have to understand what it is that I'm building, and she would have to be able to be like, okay, I know where I can add value with this is. I can structure this. Maybe it's even creating my logo or something, like, you know what I mean? Or doing some admin work or taxes. I don't know. Just anything, any type of support within that space, and be okay with it. and I want her to have her own life. I want her to be at peace with whatever it is she do. Be at peace with whatever you do. Like it's not a lot. It's really not a lot of chicks to where like, hey, this woman need to have 6 figures. She need to have this. She need to have that type of body. It ain't even really that, bro. Like I'm just on. Hey, I need you to be a woman understanding. Like I move at a very high pace, and when I say move, I execute. I'm extremely decisive, and I know how I tend to solve problems and interact with people. And she got to be cool with that.
Thanks, man. I love that answer.
Simple to me.
I love that answer. What'd you say, brother?
I said it's simple to me.
Yeah, it's simple, man. So I want to ask you this, man. I want to ask you, like, what was maybe 1 or 2 lessons just about life in general that you extracted from like your dark periods? And for example, like one thing, like often I talk about my life in 2009, where I kind of got to a dark space where I no longer wanted to live here, and repo man knocking, foreclosure man knocking, and all these things. Like I'm pawning stuff to eat food every day. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in that space, you know, of course I knew that once I got my mind back, I knew that I would come out. But when I was down there, I kind of just observed things. And one thing that I can say that I took away from my dark spot is just how I interact with people. Like I love people, man. And even today, I will give a total stranger the shirt off my back and want nothing in return, man. And I know you're that same brother. But there was something that happened to me at my darkest period that I extracted from that was I'll never let, even though I love my brothers and sisters, I'll never let someone not be off my path. Because one thing I learned down there at the bottom, I know you learn, and every other man and woman learns at the bottom, is that at some point you have to take accountability of everything that takes place. The first 30 days, 60 days, all I wanted to do is point the finger at then my ex-wife, point the finger at my college professor, point the finger at everybody just to get the blame off of me. But once I took that accountability, I began to see certain things and I will say, never again will I allow this to happen. You know, what are 1 or 2 things, if anything, that you snatched from the bottom, man, that you still hold true today?
Oh, bro, and you said it, bro. Take full accountability. Like I'm talking about accountability of everything, and even in some things that may not even been your fault. Like the leader in me is like, once I went to the bottom, bro. The first thing I asked myself, I'm talking about, I was in my car, 2000 white Grand Mercury Marquise, right? And it was raining. Bro, I had 2 50-gallon garbage bags and a 46-inch TV and a box with old high school trophies in the back of it. The very first thing I asked myself was, what are you going to do now? 75 cents in my bank account. It was always reflecting towards me. What are you going to do now, bro? And outside of that, when I moved to Denver after going through my second divorce, it was, what are you going to do now? Bro, I take full accountability, and I learned to have that, in my darkest space. Remember when me and you we was on Zoom, and I was
gonna speak on that. I was gonna speak on that. Hey, that one cross our mind. I said, when he get done, I'm gonna speak on that. Matter of fact, I want to play this clip real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and speak on that because what I want to do, what I want to ask you, brother, is what's your process, or what's your rituals, or what things do you do that when you're in, and I won't say the bottom because it's not always the bottom, but when you're in a dark space, I want to know what you like, what are some of the things or rituals that you do to come out of there? I want to play this first, man, because I saw this clip of yours and it was powerful. 1 second.
I don't know who need to hear this, bro, but y'all need to stay in that emotional feeling to what it is that you're trying to obtain.
And I'm not saying like be emotional, but I'm saying like feel that feeling of what it is that you're trying to conquer. For example, if you're trying to get a 4-unit property, right? What does it really feel like to be a landlord? What does it feel like to be the lord of your land? You know, you're trying to gain, digital income, or you're trying to become an owner's representative or consultant, in this industry. Bro, what does that look like? Damn.
Now, I'm glad you said that, because that's why I was getting ready to go, man. I understand, of course, that you maintaining your frequency is a key element. Is a key element to your creative process. Let's call it that. Your creative process. But you brought up something, man, that was wild to me, man. It's still wild to this day. And I often use the analogy. I've been using the analogy for years, man, that a man must maintain his frequency, maintain his thoughts, maintain his whatever. And even inside the burning building. And when I speak about that, I'm really speaking about even when he's at the bottom, even when things are falling apart, remain in that frequency. But like you were saying, and now I'm speaking to the people on the call, there was a point in time, matter of fact, it wasn't too long after me and Brother DeMarcus met, man. He's getting his game plan. He's locked in. And we're having Zoom calls, and all of a sudden we had a Zoom call, and I noticed the background was different. He's kind of just sitting in a corner. He's sitting on the floor. His dog is there. I'm looking at a wall. I'm like, why is he sitting right there? Like, he's always there. And we're just having a call, and your energy is still forward thinking. Your energy is still, this is what I'm going to do. And the thing is, like, I often use the term like Babe Ruth. You were sitting there Babe Ruthing life. Like, the things that you're living right now, you were calling them. And at the end of the call, man, I asked some questions. You was like, yo, yeah, my spot burned down. And you put the camera up overlooking the loft. And I'm speaking to y'all now, the people that are watching. The whole bottom floor is burned. Is gone. Matter of fact, he's not even supposed to be in the house. The condition is so bad. He's staying with a friend and said, hey, now, man, I wanted to get back in my space. Ownership of his space, man, even though it was burning. And I'm gonna tell you, up until the last 5 minutes of that 1 hour, 2 hour call, I had no idea he was going through that, because his energy, his frequency was still on where I'm going, not what's taking place around me. And after our conversation, man, we went deep that night, bro. You were fully aware that, hey, you know what? This only symbolizes what's taking place. It's symbolizing the transition. But what I want to ask you, man, is like, what are some of the rituals? What are some of the processes? What are some of the structures that you put in place to take yourself from one position and quantum leap to the next?
Well, I mean, honestly, bro, I literally just gave a spiel on this, right? So first thing first, man, you have to self-assess, right? You got to go within. Like, it ain't no way around it. You got to go within and see exactly where you are in that space, right? And you got to feel all those emotions. You got to take all of that in so that you can understand what this is, and you remember where you're going outside of this, right? Like, that's just a part of the cultivating, or the vision aspect. And for me, like I said, I created an execution framework called Viday, right? So Viday, the vision, the assessment, you do a dialogue, you align, and then you execute, bro. So after I do my self-assessments on myself, like, I've been conscious of this for years. Okay, bro, where you at, and what did you do to get here? Document that. And okay, where are you going? What's next from here, right? And what is it going to take to get to that space? Do you need to go meet somebody else? Do you need to go pay for something else? What information or knowledge do you need, right? And through that process, allowing source to move you. You know what I mean? Like, no relationships, no people that I come in contact with, I feel like is of waste, right? Like energy don't lie whatsoever. So going back through that process of vision, assessment, the dialogue of what it's gonna take to get the alignment, then execute from there, bro. So
Facts. Facts.
that's what you do, man. So when I was in that condo, I was like, okay. When I did my assessment, I said, okay, DeMarcus, you've been living a chaotic life. This is a reflection of you. Your environment is a reflection of you. You got what 6, 8 inches of water on the floor. You know what I mean? You got fire. You got drywall all messed up. You got paint, just everything, bro. You got
Yeah.
ashes. You got everything out of
It's
place. Now
chaos.
you're in a world that is supposed to be unlivable. You know what I mean? I'm staying in a condo that's supposed to be unlivable, all because of how I was moving. So,
I'm gonna add, man. That's powerful, man. And I'm glad I got to see you go through that because it gave me a better understanding of you, like hands
yeah.
down. But I want to ask you, like, as far as you going from A to B in any time frame in life, what would you say are some of your personal non-negotiables? Like, what are some things that, regardless of what stage you're at, like things that have to be done every single day in order to keep you in that frequency that's required to move forward?
Oh man, bro, I got a bunch of those, but
What's three?
a non-negotiable for me, a non-negotiable for me is to, for number one, have my moment with God. That's every morning, right? My phone go off every day at 4:30. There's a signifying saying gratitude to the Most High at 4:30 a.m. Then from 4:30 a.m. I have a space where I can either go work out or I can go, do some stretching, whatever I need to do. And that's still time and space with me and the Most High and Source. So, and also acknowledging my vision and putting myself in that emotional state when I start that morning. And not only that, in that morning, also right before I lay it down at night. Those are non-negotiables. Non-negotiables.
Facts, man.
And
And those are
it's
powerful.
tough when it's super tough though, because you got so many different distractions going on throughout the day. But when I start my day, I want to make sure I align with my vision. And then when I go to sleep, I want to make sure I get back in alignment with that vision. Cause we all know, man, within them 16 hours of you being up, it's like you get distracted, you don't watch the movie, you don't watch the game, you've been arguing with your girl, like all different type of stuff. Like before you close them eyes, you want to get back to where it is that you say that you want it. And bro, that have helped me, quantum leap tremendously.
That's powerful. I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that, man, because I believe this is what I believe, man. I believe a lot of men, I believe a lot of us, a lot of people, I believe a lot of us can do certain things and get on track and find flow and move in that energy.
Mhm.
But a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand that nobody's immune to chaos re-entering their life, man. So again, the non-negotiables need to be in place to kind of keep us aligned. But let's say, for example, something does happen. Let's say, for example, an ounce of chaos does enter your life, and you wake up one day, and I'm not saying you're back in left field, but you see yourself one or two steps off path. A lot of people right there don't know how to correct. Like, what do you do when you
Mm.
do find yourself out of sync? What are some things? One thing, two things, or just what do you do to get back on path, man? Because I think this is important for people that are starting the journey, man.
Bro, I mean, it's knowledge of self. Like if I had to truly, and I'm telling y'all, you got to do the work to understand, who you are and how you are. But me understanding how I am, I understand how to get back in my space or get back into that vision or whatever it is I'm trying to accomplishment in spite of the chaos. And another thing though, bro, I think it's a gift for me though. For me facing life in prison at 19, going through all of that, no blueprint, still going over mountains and hurdles, right? And being a fire watch in this advanced technology industry, to where now ultimately I own my own company and we do consulting work to the clients, bro. Like that was all part of the process. So I know people, I know it's a tough thing to do to get back in alignment with where you're trying to go once your life punch you in the mouth. But you got to be able to understand you're going to get punched in the mouth regardless. So once you take that blow, you need to realize, oh, okay, don't take this personal. This is supposed to happen right now. You're supposed to get hit with some type of chaos, but you just need to step back and say, okay, well, I'm not even gonna pay no attention to that, and I'm gonna go to this next space, or I'm gonna run straight through it. And I'm speaking in terms like that because sometimes you just got to go through it, even with the chaos. And I give you an example. I was working in Florida, and bro, I was working seven days a week, 12-hour shifts, right? And I was also in like my last semester of college to get my psychology degree. So I'm fitting pipe as a pipe fitter in the trade. Excuse me. And I'm doing research papers. I'm doing my essays. I'm doing all my assignments and stuff, right? Within my whole day. Now keep in mind, bro, we real close to Tampa. And I got a brother who really liked to party. And he really liked, to be around different people. And he's like a social butterfly, right? So like me being in that chaos and to be able to still stay focused no matter like how exhausted I was for working, the temptation of these beautiful women, and still being able to do a research paper, bro. Come on, G. Like for a whole 2 semesters, locked in. But I got pictures of me sitting on a pipe, writing a paper, and I got my welders welding. Like it was crazy work, bro.
Crazy I want, and that's where I want to go into that, man. I want to talk about kind of what's going on now, a lot of the mindset information, and some other things I want to speak on. But before we go there, I want to ask you just this question, man. And I was thinking about that as you were speaking back to your 19-year-old self. And we're gonna take a 30-second break for you to answer this. But the question I want you to ask after this 30-second break is, of course, looking back from where you are now, in your 30s, looking back to your 19-year-old self, 21-year-old self. Of course, now you can look back and you could give that version of you the perfect guidance right now, right?
Oh yeah.
So what I want to ask you, man, again, when we come back from break, is what does the 55-year-old version of you tell yourself right now as far as how to move forward? I want to answer that, man, when we come back, brother.
Say that.
Thing number 7 that men do to ruin their lives is that they don't keep a brotherhood of like-minded men around them. They don't have a band of brothers. They are not part of a tribe. The thing that men do that really ruins their life is that they live like an island. You act like a lone wolf. You are not meant to be a lone wolf. You are not meant to be an island. You are meant to find like-minded dudes who share your core values. Because if you're like, dude, these are my core values, these are my non-negotiables, this is how I roll in life. I'm an extreme, unreasonable, impatient motherfucker that wants to make a lot of money, be fit and jacked, be self-actualized and self-disciplined, and do a lot of good for humanity. And I find other dudes like that to connect with. That's my tribe. That's my band of brothers. That is the brotherhood that I belong to.
I just want to say this real quick. Anybody that's interested in the Power Circle, definitely check out the Power Circle. I want to say this. There is no way that I would be at the level of peace that I have, the level of understanding that I have, the level of camaraderie that I have with other men without the Power Circle. And the reason I bring this up is because, like, the Power Circle has been in place for going on 4+ years now, 5 years. And before the Power Circle, I I was a lone ranger, and I believe all of us in the circle are all lone rangers in spirit. We're just coming together as teams. But one thing I'll say about putting yourself in circles, whether it's a power circle or some other circle, it's important because us as men, like when we're riding solo, every man thinks he's flying high. You know, you're doing everything, you're going to work, your physical fitness regimen. Every man thinks he's flying high, but when you put yourself in a room of other men, sometimes you'll say, hey, you know what? I may be flying high in this area, but over here, I'm barely off the ground. And it's good to be in a room of brothers, man, where iron is sharpening iron and you can build, man. And I can sit here and talk about a million stories of brothers in the circle that have done extraordinary things, brother DeMarcus being one of them, right? And it's kind of where I want to go with the conversation next. But the first thing I want to ask you, man, is to answer that question from a second ago. What does your 50-year-old, 55-year-old version of yourself, what advice do you give this version of yourself, brother?
Yeah, so the 55-year-old version of me, first of all, you know, he's somewhere overseas. He's kicked back, you know, living a very simple life. You know, he moved to the beat of his own drum, although that's what I do now. So what I do as 55 years old, and I tell myself now I'm 37, is personal development is the key to wherever it is that you want to go to, right? It's not your skills. It's not it's not what you know. It's how you are. You know, how you are, how influential you are in certain spaces, man. So like to become a millionaire, right? I can give you $1 million and you're gonna lose it unless you become a millionaire. That's the personal development aspect of it. In addition to that, I'll tell them to invest those things, man. You know, don't depend on other people to control your destiny. You know, bet on yourself. You know, all money in, bet on you, right? And additional thing, I know the 55-year-old self would say, hey, align with one woman and go.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
I love that part. That's powerful.
Lead the way.
That's powerful, man. You said something in that spiel, man, that I want to speak on real quick. And I would say this is your saying, because I've never heard anybody say it before I heard you say it. Like I always say, and I've said it, it's in the singular truth where I say, you know, man must know, you know, who he is and where he's going. But one day on a call, and this is, I've heard you say this a number of times now, and I know it's a very intricate part of your philosophy and your teachings and your coaching, man. You say that a man must know who he is, but you say a man must know how he is. And the first time you said that, man, I had to pause and soak on that and understand how powerful it is, man. Speak on that, man. What do you really mean when you say a man must know who he is, but primarily he must know how he is? What do you mean by that, bro?
Man, bro. So the how, you know, and I honestly, I leave the who you part to soul, man. Soul the expert in the who you are, and first want to give acknowledgement to that. Now the how you are. This is when you get to the nuts and bolts of stuff of how you really move throughout this world and this space, right? Because a lot of people, you can say, okay, you know, I'm made in the likeness image of God. You know who you are in that aspect. But I can ask you, how do you tend to solve problems? You're gonna be like, you're gonna freeze up. So when I say how, I want to get to the internal side of you of how you're wired. The science behind it. Like, how do you tend to solve problems? How do you tend to interact with people and share your emotions and opinions with people? How you tend to stabilize your environment, right? And how you tend to respond to procedures and protocols set by other people. Now, when I got exposed to this, because I have a psychology degree, but I can't say that I learned this in that particular degree. But when I got exposed to this information, my life went to a whole nother level. Like, I always knew I was wired different, and that somehow I can execute at a high level, but I couldn't articulate it. And in addition to that, I understand that sometimes we team up with people or business partners or relationships, right? And we try to build something and it never goes nowhere. You ever seen with guys like, yeah, man, we're gonna do this business, we're gonna do this, we got this idea, but then everybody just really talking because obviously it ain't in the, maybe you guys are not alignment. And that's why I have, the 1996-97 Bulls presentation where
Powerful.
you got Jordan, right? Jordan execute dominant, decisive at a high level, straight beast. You know what I mean? But you go back and look, bro, he couldn't make it out of the first round of the playoffs for years. Shit, damn it, what, 8 years? I believe he just kept getting smacked. He drops 67, drops, up 70, 60, 50 a night. But until he got put into a system by Phil Jackson, bro, and then he had other people that was around him to play to his natural side versus his adaptive side, he was able to win 6 championships. So I took that ideology and that philosophy, man, and just turned that towards the human, us. Once you realize how that is, bro, you're gonna go to the next level.
Facts. Hey, you use that word systems a lot, man. Again, it's a very intricate part of your teaching, your philosophy. Like what's a bird's eye view type response? Just a very general response as far as a person living their life and a person saying, hey, you know what? My life has no order, but I keep hearing this word systems. Like what kind of information could you give them to kind of just start building a system around their life? Of course, if someone wants that full speed, someone wants to kind of know how they operate, I highly suggest you booking a session with DeMarcus, man, and getting inserting yourself into his product. Powerful. But just a bird's eye view of how can I form structure in my life? What kind of response can you give somebody who's asking that question, man?
I mean, first thing you got to talk to the pain points, right? Those particular blind spots or those wrong moves or the lack of direction of where you are. And I always tie that back to the execution framework, man. What is your vision? After your vision, you have to do an assessment. You have to assess where you are in life. And this is not, and this is the thing, you don't have to always tie it to something spiritual, right? This could be in your career, this could be in your relationship, your friendships, just goals that you're setting, even within a hobby, right? So vision, your alignment, then you got to do the dialogue. Where are you really at? Acknowledge that, I'm not here. So that consciousness start to roll in on you. And from there, you got to get in alignment. Whatever that vision is, you have to get in alignment with it. And honestly, this is a system to be in alignment with that. And from there, you execute, you move.
Love it, man.
Period.
Love it, man.
You move.
I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to brother Booker T 333, man, for the super chat. Appreciate the $4.99. And I also added a link to the conversation. If anybody wants to come on real quick, man, and ask a question for Brother DeMarcus, if he's up for that, y'all feel free to join, man, and ask a question or chat for a second. Hey, but I want to ask you this, DeMarcus. This is huge, man. Like a lot of times I'll speak on, and again, I speak on the power of a person's truth, right? So I'll kind of throw it out there, but what I speak on is I'll say, hey, you know what? A lot of times people are limited by what they see, or people are limited by the structures put in place by the system or the world. Meaning if you don't have a certain degree in this, if you don't have a credit score of this, if you aren't a certain race, you can't do a certain thing, and all these other things that really aren't real. I want to ask you about that because you've gone from, and you speak on this on your content, you've gone from entering an industry as a pipe fitter, I believe, kind of starting from scratch, kind of just a man. No, I believe you said you were the guy that puts the fires out, fire. To go from that, man, to now you're rubbing elbows with. Now you're taking your company and putting it with other people's company who've been in this industry for 20, 30 years that have degrees in this area, that have done all these things. You placed yourself from square one to where you are now, and I'm sure you bypassed a lot of people that don't understand it. What part of your truth, or what part of life would you give advice in this area, as far as someone saying, hey, you know what, I'm at square one in my industry or my company? What mindset do I have to be in to do what DeMarcus did? What advice would you give someone on how to move like that, bro? Because that's amazing.
First of all, I'm gonna say, man, work harder on yourself than you do your job.
Yeah.
And I want that to sink in. And not only do you do your job, whatever it is you do, work harder on yourself, right? Because obviously we got people who trying to go get more degrees in the thermometer, thinking that, and more certifications, that this is going to do X, Y, Z, when in actuality it's not. It's the personal development. Bro, I got exposed to Jim Rohn. I was living in Virginia. It was my first marriage, and I had just left Texas. Matter of fact, Port Arthur, Texas at that. I had just left Port Arthur, Texas, making the most money I ever made in my life, bro. And I found a job that was 3 hours away from my place. I moved in that. I traveled 3 hours one way, worked 10-hour shift, traveled back another 3 hours. So that's 16 hours total within my day. And in the process of that, just to be in the house with my ex-wife at the time, did that for like 3 months. Now, in the process of that, Jim Rohn popped up out of nowhere. And the man said, bro, if you want to make a living, work hard on your job. If you want to make a fortune, work hard on yourself. And it dawned on me. So
say that again for the people in the back, man. Say that one more time for anybody that wasn't listening. Say that one more time, man. That was powerful, bro.
Jim said, if you want to make a living, work hard on your job. If you want to make a fortune, work hard on yourself. And I'm telling you, that changed my life. It changed my life, because I started leaning on that. Okay, let's test this theory, man. Let's test and see if this is true. So guess what? I started, certain books I started reading. There was a certain aura about myself that I was trying to present. And the more I kept developing, the more seminars I was going to, the more coaching or consulting I was paying for, I was getting the game. Because I'm like, bro, it's something that I don't know. And this is how I'm developing myself, right? And throughout that process, okay, how do you respond to people? How do you shake people's hand? Do you look a person directly in their eye? You know what I mean? Are you truly being authentically you in every room, in spite of the economic status? Right? And I've gotten to that space now where I can go into any room and I'm me. It don't matter who it is. It don't matter if I got a chain on, hat on. It don't matter if I'm around people who I have absolutely nothing in common with besides this task at hand that we have. They will get a piece or flavor of the guy who was born in Enterprise, Mississippi, 514 people total, right? But standing up here as thousands or as millions of people, right? And but I would tell people in a tangible aspect, always look at the person who's over you. All right. For example, as a fire watch, bro, I was looking at the journeyman, like, bro, what are y'all doing? He was like, oh man, we doing this. How much y'all getting paid? 33 an hour. I was getting paid probably like $9. And I'm like, hold up, what I gotta do to get to that? I ran towards it. Once I got to that space, I started watching the supervisor or the foreman or the general foreman, the superintendent. Okay, how did the superintendent dress? Give you something tangible. The hard hats, bro. The hard hats, everybody was putting stickers all over their junk. Not me. I was keeping my shit clean and white. Because guess what? There was always people in high positions coming out. Ain't no stickers on their stuff. It's clean. They clean. I was showing up that way.
People have no idea, brother. My bad. I ain't mean to cut you off, but
Go
I
ahead,
want to
go ahead,
pause right
go
there.
ahead, go ahead.
People have
Yeah.
no idea how powerful those things that you were saying right there are. Like people, like a lot of people have no idea. Like a lot of people think it's the big thing. Like it's oh, I wake up every day and I read the book so and so, and I can quote this, I can quote that. It's those little things. It's that demeanor. It's that awareness. It's that behavior. It's those thoughts. That's what's changing things, man. So a lot of people might have just looked at that hard hat. It's like, huh, I wonder why he doesn't. But you were creating something by doing that, man. You were walking in a different energy, man. I want to ask you, and I want to give a shout out to my brother real quick. But after I give a shout out to my brother, I want to ask you, DeMarcus, like what, like because now you're in the position you're in. If you look back at a version of you, hell, just 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or the mindset back when you were a journeyman in Firewatch, what mental elements, like what does life require of you now that you're an entrepreneur, you have your digital business, now that you're a high ranking person in your industry, now that you're doing all the things that you're doing, what's required of you now that wasn't required of you then? I want to give you a second to think about that while I give a shout out to my brother Jonathan Hill, man. Shout out to brother Jonathan Hill for the $49.99 super chat. I wish I had my message board, man, so I give you a good at ease, but I didn't bring all that stuff to Thailand with me, man. I want to speak on brother Jonathan real quick. I don't want to give the full story. The way him and I met was so crazy that I know that our paths were posed to align, right? And I don't want to go into detail, but we were both doing things and we were supposed to be doing other things, and our paths crossed, and we thought we were meeting the right people when we were meeting for the first time. And this was just a few weeks ago here in Thailand. He was visiting Thailand. We had both had some DMs get crossed up. We were at the same place at the same time. We're talking and realized that, hey man, this meeting wasn't even supposed to happen. Now he's a member of the Power Circle. Now he's very powerful brother, man. Very and I don't believe I don't know if I can speak too much on his job. I know he's in some security and clearances and all that kind of stuff. But outside of that, he has a candle company, man. Hey, brother, drop your link to your company, man.
I love candles, man.
Yeah. So, brother, I call him Kinfolk because we share the last name. So I call him Kinfolk, man. Shout out to you, brother Jonathan Hill, man, for that super chat. I appreciate that, brother, and I hope you're safe. I'm not sure if you returning back from Japan, man, but if you're back, if you're not back, man, safe flight back, man. But yeah, brother DeMarcus, like what's required of you now that wasn't required of you then? And I'm asking that because like a lot of people that are entering a higher level job, they want to go from journeyman to top dog in this particular department or area, or they want to go into entrepreneurship. What would you tell that person that's going to be required of them that wasn't required of them from where they are right now?
So the thing that's going to be required of you is you're going to have to stretch who you are, for number one. And you're going to have to be able to become extremely decisive. You're going to have to make a decision, even if it's the wrong decision, right? Oftentimes we get tied up and tangled on trying to make a decision about something. When you're in this space, though, you have to make a decision, move, live with it. And then if you notice that it's wrong or it's something that can be fixed, you got to come up with a solution. So being solution oriented for number one, being proactive, like nobody have to give you direction on where it is that you're going or what it is you're supposed to be do. You will proactively be solving a problem before somebody else can. And that right there within itself, bro, that holds so much weight. That's what people want, bro. They want you to be able to bridge the gap. So if you can bridge the gap and solve a problem to whatever industry you are or whatever circle you in, that's what it is. So do something where you have to become embedded into something. And also, add so much value that people can't say no.
You know what? You know what? And I meant to say this earlier. When you just right now, you just spoke about that value. I
Mm-hmm.
have to connect that to something you said probably 20, 30 minutes ago, when you were talking about show up
What was that?
as your authentic self. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe that you, and I'm kind of,
Make it brief.
I might be guessing here, but I believe, and I'm basing it off of pictures that I see. I'm basing it off the rooms that I see you in now. I can only imagine that you showing up as your authentic self is completely different than what they're used to seeing, and they see that value. They see that different perspective. Like, hey, you know what? He hasn't seen what we see. Like, he's seen something completely different, and I see the value he brings. That has to have played a part, man.
Bro, bro, I'm talking about it plays a major part because, bro, I'm the person who come to the room and say the shit that you're thinking, but you don't even have the balls to say it.
That's a powerful element to bring, bro. Yeah, that's a
Right
powerful
there.
element to bring.
Like I'm talking about,
Yeah,
but in a professional manner though, to where you gotta respect
yeah,
it. You like, you know what? You right.
facts, man. And I know that's a crucial
Crazy,
element
bro.
you bring to the table. I want to give a shout out to brother Truth
Yeah.
to you 736, man, brother. Appreciate the super chat, man. Much love. And he asked the question: can you guys elaborate on how to get focused and also distractions keeping you from your goals? Can brother DeMarcus, can you elaborate on how to stay focused and how distractions can keep you from your goals?
Hell
What are
yeah.
your thoughts
I
on it, bro?
mean, what? So it's different, bro. It's so different from people. Are you married? Are you single? You know what I mean? Are you in a relationship? You live with your girl, whatever. Like the most thing that you gotta do, bro, you gotta step back. Like right now in this space, you need to pause. Like peace be still is a powerful
Facts.
space because when you pause, you get to see what's really moving out of order. You get to see who's calling you, who's not calling you. You know what I mean? Who you chasing, who you not chasing. Like all those things make waves in your life, right? And the very first thing, bro, is you gotta go within. And I hate people when they say this, but you gotta hit the gym too, bro.
Facts.
You gotta get the moving. Oh, if it's you
It's all
walking, put your steps in, but do something that's uncomfortable. Do something that is uncomfortable. If you know you come to the crib every day and you do X, Y, Z, shake up your world a little bit. This right here will get you focused, and it sounds like it won't, but shake up the world that you're in right now. Because sometimes, bro, what you usually call it, bro, you would say they're in some type of like they hypnotized or they're in some type of daze, right?
Mhm.
Getting outside of that
Yeah, yeah,
daze will allow you to be able to see what's really going on. And then from there, bro, you gotta self-assess and reverse engineer what's making you become unfocused and stay away from it.
facts, man. And I would say, and I'm thinking about this as you're talking, brother. I would say to brother Truth to you, man. One thing that I would do if I were you, man, is trying to get focused and trying to eliminate distractions. What you need to do, brother, is on your day off, build it on paper, build what the perfect day would look like. And kind of like what DeMarcus said
Mm,
earlier, like all those things have to be in place. Like you really can't eliminate distractions and get focused unless you have somewhere you're going. Because you don't even know what to call distractions and what's good for you. So you have to first
hell no.
identify where you're going. And then what I would suggest, brother, is on your day off, form the perfect day. Say, you know what? If I'm going to that vision, what do I need to do to have a perfect day? And do only those things, right? And then at the end of the day, ask yourself, everything that was coming in, the distractions from my ex-girlfriend, my partners want to go drink some Henny, my brother want to go smoke some bud, or any other distractions, look at it and document what things came into your life that didn't align with you getting to that end goal. And then you got to mitigate that situation. And then you have to create a whole new rhythm behind that. Like it's not going to be this one day you start and it's just magical. Like you gotta train your mind. You gotta train your nervous system, and you gotta train the people around you to respect your new barriers and your new truth. And just call those things what they are, man. Like a lot of things right now are distractions, and you weren't calling them that. You gotta have a vision first to know what doesn't align with that end goal, and then you can call it a distraction because you might be calling it a blessing. Oh, girl knocking on your door every day is a blessing to you now, but it's a distraction in 5 minutes. Oh, my bad. I thought you said something, but my bad.
That's
yeah. But the DA
I was
said
just saying that's a big thing.
Yeah, but the DA he in the gym right now, and I'm glad you said it, man, because that physical element of moving forward, it has to be present. It has to be present because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Yeah. We all know that, so it's like you can't be trying to make 6 figures, 7 figures, but you're eating like crap. You don't have any kind of regimen, or vice versa. You know, it's all one connection, man. So I want to ask you a few questions, man. I know we had an hour and 15, man. I try to keep these at an hour and a half max. I want to ask you. I just want to ask you this. How do I want to say that, man? Like it's like evolving is all about shedding skin and all about, you know, eliminating parts of myself. I'll ask you, what part of yourself over the past, whether it's been within the last 3 months, 6 years, or 20 years, what part of yourself that you have to eliminate or kill off to help you get to where you are right now, man? Like, was there an element of maybe the way you were thinking, the way you like, what thing did you have to kill off about yourself, bro?
I mean, yeah, bro. Like every time you get prepared to go to the next level, you gotta shed something. Like for real. So, for example, bro, you may have seen some. I'll give you something real tangible. On the job, there's a situation where, let's say, I ask you a question, and I'm like, hey man, man, what's the submittal on this, or what's the RFI? Do you guys know? Somebody will say, man, that's above my pay grade. I can't answer these. That's above my pay grade. What? I never made that statement, right? Well, let me take that back. I think I made that statement one time, and I think that was when I first started. And I consciously caught myself on what it was that I was truly saying. And from there, it was like, hold up, above my pay grade. What do I got to do to be able to know this? You know what I mean? So what do I got to take out of my psyche? What do I got to take out of my process of who I am? What do I got to shed, rather, to get to the next level to where somebody can ask me this and I can answer it? Or I can constantly say, hey, look, I don't know right now. Give me 30 minutes. I'll find out. Like, that was me putting something tangible, small. It was like, okay, that's the next step for me. Let's say, other aspects of my life, bro, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm a jack of all trades, bro, and I'm a master of none. Like I got so many lives I've lived, or so many facets or skills within, how I'm wired, man. It's crazy, right? So I would say, when I bought my multifamily property, who did you have to become to buy that multifamily property, bro? I had to do my due diligence. I had to understand, the market. I had to understand what how much I had to put down, what loan program I may go through, like who needs to be on my team. So I had to shed something within me, and that was my psyche of believing that I actually can accomplish that. When I started my company QAS back in 2022, me and Brianna, I had to believe that I could do this. Never done it before, never. I'm like, bro, this is $1 trillion industry. Why would I go elsewhere to try to start my company or break into something, an industry, when I'm embedded in one and I can start right here? So in addition to that, me getting in front of the stage of 1,000 people that you just witnessed, being selected to be an expert speaker for Advancing Data Center West, bro, nervous as hell until I got in that moment. When I got in that moment, I said, okay, if I get exposed to this, I'm going to the next level. Always chasing exposure. So now I understood, like, to have the mindset, you have to be willing to say, hey, I want to get the exposure. And whatever it takes to shed for me to get the exposure, that's how you got to look at whatever situation or whatever level you want to go to. And now whatever, and I can't tell you what you need to shed, but that answer or that question is going to tell you what you need to shed.
Facts, man. I want to ask you 3 more questions, man. 3 more questions, brother. And the first question I want to ask is the book Forged Under Load. What was your inspiration behind that book? And what is the takeaway that someone will receive from reading that book, man? I just ordered 2 copies of it, man. I'm looking forward to diving into it. But what was your inspiration and what are the takeaways from that book, bro?
Man, bro, my inspiration from this was to revamp, Turn Your Catastrophe into a Masterpiece, which was my first book that I wrote. I wrote while homeless, living in my car, taking showers at Planet Fitness in Virginia. And I understood that particular book came from a space of a guy who just was hurting, but also had a vision and an ideal of who he can become, right? And this particular book create the framework speaking to that guy who was in that car, taking showers at Planet Fitness, going to the library, going to Barnes and Nobles, reading and hiding books because he didn't have the money to be able to buy them. So he had to come back to them the next day so that he can figure out what type of knowledge or information that he need, right? So Forged Under Load is how high capacity leaders are created under pressure. And it gives you a framework and it gives you examples of the things that you may be going through and how you can perceive them now to use them as a tool. They're helping you. They're not taking nothing away from you.
Oh,
period.
Oh, I can't wait to dive in, bro. I know it's gonna be a heavyweight, man. And I'm gonna leave all the links to. Bro. Say again.
It's short and it's short. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to be reading through these big novels because, bro, I'm at a space now where I want to be able to read 1 or 2, 3 sentences in a book, and if I can take that and apply it to my life, I won. I won.
Facts. Facts, man. Yeah, I think it's gonna be I know it's a solid project, man. Shout out to brother Winston Ward, man. Good to see your face, brother. See your face, man. Hey, I got 2 more questions I asked, and these are questions that I ask every single person, man. And we'll close out with these 2 questions. And the first question is, who is the one person, whether alive or past, that had the most impact on who DeMarcus Taylor is today and why?
Man, bro, it's crazy to put that down into one person, man. But I gotta say, Clara Ruth Taylor.
Speak on.
Clara Ruth Taylor. That's my granny, man. That's grandma. So one thing for sure about grandma, me and her were the only brown skinned people in the family. everybody else red bones, bro.
Yeah. That's powerful. What elements about her made it so powerful, man?
Bro, she was so 1,000, and she had my back and my best intention. Not to say that other people didn't, like my mom, my dad, not to say they did, but like my grandmother had. She kept it so solid with me, even with relationships, even with dealing with other people or the circumstances that I was going through. In spite of, like, my grandma she was real, bro. Like it was no filter within her. Like no matter what room she went to, where she went, like you could tell when she had to make some small adjustments and stuff like that. But I even think like just her entrepreneurial ability pretty much sparked something in me, man. And I just never forget her, bro. Like just she always knew that I could do something powerful. And she always said that. And she always said, we the brown ones, and everybody else is super light. So like we were the black sheep, man, and we made that connection, and man, we look just alike too, man. It's kind of wild, bro. But
That's powerful.
I'm gonna say Clara Ruth Taylor. Yeah.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
I
She
love
always
that, bro.
with gems. Always hit me with gems. Like ain't nothing open. Ain't nothing open this late but legs. Like I'm talking about, she would hit me with stuff like that. Like you trying to come in the house late.
Yeah. She giving the game.
Yeah.
She giving the knowledge. You ain't really.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
And funny.
I love it, man.
Super cool, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
And my last question is this, man. Let's say that the good Lord bestows himself down here and says, DeMarcus, you vibrating so high, you've done so much, man, that I need you up here with us. Like you vibing too high down there, man. And he says, in 24 hours, I'm coming back and I'm taking you with me. But in those 24 hours, you have one truth, you have one statement, you have one piece of advice to give mankind. What is that advice you're giving mankind before you were seeing, man?
Bruh, come on, that's heavy. Come on, bro. That's super heavy. I got one word.
You're getting ready. Let's say you're getting ready to transition, and you have one last word to give mankind. One thing you've learned in your 30 plus years on this planet. What is that one piece of advice or one piece of knowledge?
Yeah. It's gonna be, man, reverse engineer where you at and where you started. Package that and give it to humanity. That's your gift. That's your purpose. That's why you're here. And maybe I'm leaving because that's exactly what I've done. My time is up.
Let the church say amen, man. I love that
Yes,
statement, man. Where can everybody find you, man? What's those socials, bro? Because you've been going in hard on social lately, man. You've been going in, man. Where can they find you at?
Hey, Instagram, man, DeMarcus R. Taylor. That same thing on Facebook. In addition to that, if you guys want to look at, my company, QAS or Quality Assurance Solutions, you can look at me at www.qualityasolutions.com. And my YouTube, which is at DeMarcus R. Taylor also. Connect with me. I like to talk back. I like to be more engaging with people, man, and just be 1,000 and real, bro. So that's where everybody can find me at.
Definitely go follow all those socials, man. He's giving game on a regular basis. And man, again, I want to say, man, thank you for making time. Thank you for giving us an hour and a half of your time and knowledge and sharing your experience. And to be honest, sharing pieces of it that probably are maybe slightly uncomfortable, but you understand the value of helping somebody else in it, man. So I want to say thank you for that, man. And we definitely got to do it again, brother.
Hell yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I appreciate you having me too here, bro. Man, it's been a pleasure, man. We've been connected for a minute now, and being able to see your growth as well as mine and all the brothers in the circle and exit strategy, and just knowing now, even when you say, bro, don't unplug, like I'm talking about that right there. I say, you know what, it's over. There's no unplugging, like for real. And like no matter what you're trying to do, it don't have to be perfect, bro. Do it. Just get it out there. Period.
Man, a million thanks, brother. A million thanks, man.
Yep. Likewise.
Hey, just to close out real quick. 1 second. Just to close out real quick. I want to say this again, man. I appreciate Brother DeMarcus, man. Make sure y'all go follow his socials. Follow him on Instagram. Here lately, man, he's been dropping heavy gems. Follow him on YouTube. And again, we will be having him on this call, maybe even on panel conversations in the future for sure. But I want to say this just to close out, man. Again, like a lot of people will find ourselves in these dark spots. We'll find ourselves in these dark areas of life. And a lot of times, man, we'll wave the white flag and we'll just quit. We'll surrender. But I hope that if anything you take from this call, man, that your goal is down there. Your recipe is down there. Like that thing that you're supposed to be giving back, that's where it is. So your success is not coming out as a young man or young woman and just slowly trending towards success. There's going to be periods where you're up. There's going to be periods where you're down. But understand that those down periods are golden. Like you can't get to a lot of those mountaintops without going down there. You have to understand it. So all I'm gonna say is when you're going through those dark spots, go through those dark spots with understanding. Go through those dark spots, still standing on your truth. Ultimately, man, go through those dark spots, man, still trusting in God, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this call, brothers. I'll see y'all next go round.
Thing number 7 that men do to ruin their lives is that they don't keep a brotherhood of like-minded men around them. They don't have a band of brothers. They are not part of a tribe. The thing that men do that really ruins their life is that they live like an island. You act like a lone wolf. You are not meant to be a lone wolf. You are not meant to be an island. You are meant to find like-minded dudes who share your core values. Because if you're like, dude, these are my core values, these are my non-negotiables, this is how I roll in life. I'm an extreme, unreasonable, impatient motherfucker that wants to make a lot of money, be fit and jacked, be self-actualized and self-disciplined, and do a lot of good for humanity. And I find other dudes like that to connect with. That's my tribe. That's my band of brothers. That is the brotherhood that I belong to.